Okay, Year 9. This is a video for today's lesson. Now this is the example we went through yesterday, so I'm just going to do it once again before we do the harder questions. Now, $2,000 is invested in some bank at 3% per annum for 3 years. So we've got to find the simple interest earned on the investment after 3 years. So, first thing we do is write the formula down. Interest equals principal times the interest rate times the time. Now the principal in this question is $2,000. You multiply that by the interest rate, which is 3%. Okay, now on your calculator you have a percent button. So you just have to put 3% in there, and you times that by the number of years. So that's 3 years. Now getting my calculator out, putting that in, you get $2,000 times 3% times 3, and you get $180. Okay, that's what we did yesterday. There's the answer there. Now if you don't know where the percent button is on your calculator, that's okay. You're just going to go 2,000 times 3 over 100, because 3% means 3 over 100, and then times 3. Now the total value of the investment after 3 years. Well, to get the total value, all you've got to do is take the initial amount, the principal, and add the interest that you've earned. So it's going to be $2,000 plus 180. That's 2,180. Now let's look at the homework questions now. Now, let's have a look. But before we do that, here's our formula again. Now, here's a very important point just here. Now, the interest rate and the time must have the same units of time. So, if R is a yearly interest rate, then T must be in years. If R is a monthly interest rate, then T must be in months, and vice versa. So let's have a look at the first one. We've got to find the simple interest on each of these investments, correct to the nearest cent. Now, first thing I do is write down the formula, I equals PRT. Now, the principal is $2,000 times by. Now, the interest rate is 15.5%. And now the time, you've got to be careful here. It is 8 months, but remember, we have a yearly interest rate here, which means we have to write 8 months in terms of years. Now to convert months to a year, you divide by 12. So it's 8/12 of 1 year. Now put that into your calculator. We've got $2,000 times 15.5% times by 8 over 12. And you should get to the nearest cent $206.67, which is the answer there. Now for the next one, same idea. We take the formula I equals PRT. The principal this time is 50,000. The interest rate is 18.3%. And the time, now just be careful here, have a look. We have a yearly interest rate there. But the time is in days, so we have to convert days to years. Now, to convert days to years, you divide by 365. So we're going to write this as 200, because there's 365 days in a year, over 365. Okay? Put that into your calculator. 50,000 times 18.3% times 200 over 365. Now, to the nearest cent, that is going to be $5,013. And should be 70 cents actually, so I got that one wrong. That should be 70 cents there. Okay. Now let's have a look at the next question. Now this is a hashtag example, so one that you should do by yourself. So you can pause the video now if you want to have a go at this question, then press play again and you should see the solution. Okay, so same thing, you write down the simple interest, and then the principal is 9,750 multiplied by the interest rate, which is 14.3%. Now, the interest rate is per annum, it's per year. However, the time is in weeks. Now to convert weeks to years, you're going to divide by 52, because there's 52 weeks in a year, approximately. So 9750 times 14.3% times 16 on 52 equals 429. So the simple interest earned is $429. Okay, next question. Now these are the harder questions. We're actually using the same formula as you did previously. Let's have a look. After 3 years, an investment of $1,000 has earned $120 interest. What is the annual interest rate? Well, first thing we do is write down the formula again. Now you're told that you've earned $120 interest. So that means I'm going to put $120 for the interest. So this interest is 120 because you're told the interest. Now the principal is 1,000. Tells you that there's 1,000. So we put $1,000 for the principal. The interest rate we don't know. That's what you're asked to find out. So you're going to find R. And T, we do know. T is over here, 3 years. So that's times 3. Now, this is an equation. As you can see, we've got an equal sign, so we have to solve this equation. Okay, so the 120 stays there. Now 1,000 times 3 is 3,000. You've still got the times R there. Now you want to get the R by itself, so the opposite of times R, the opposite of times 3,000 is divide by 3,000. So you're going to divide this by 3,000 and this by 3,000. You have to do the same thing to both sides. 3,000s cancel. Now 120 divided by 3,000 is equal to 0.04. So you get 0.04 is equal to R. Now that is your answer, but interest rates are usually converted as a percentage. So you need to convert this to a percentage, and to do that, you multiply by 100, little percent there. So now, what's 0.04 times 100? It's just 4. So the interest rate is 4%. Okay, next question. Right, for how long will $20,000 need to be invested to earn $150 interest if the interest rate is 3.5% per annum? Okay, so we start off the same way. Interest equals PRT. Now, you're told the interest is $150. See that in the question over here, there's $150. The principal we're told is $20,000. The interest rate is 3.5%. And the time we don't know. The time is what you've got to find out. So T we don't know. That's what we're going to find out. Okay, so let's work this out. Work out what 20,000 times 3.5% is. So 20,000 times 3.5%. You're going to get 700. So you get 150. So you got 700. And don't forget you've still got the times T on there. Okay, now to get the T by itself, you're going to do the opposite to times 700. You're going to divide both sides by 700. That cancels, and you're left with, now 150 divided by 700 is equal to, okay, it's a long decimal. We're going to have 0.2142 ... because it keeps going, and that's in years. Now, if we want to convert this to days, all right, we want to convert years to days, you're going to multiply by 365. So if I multiply the answer on my calculator by 365 to convert it to the number of days, you'll then get T is equal to, so times 365, now to the nearest, well, that's going to be 78.2 days. Now, how did I get 79 days here? Well, you don't really have 78.2 days, it's either 78 or 79. So if you only have your money in there for 78 days, it won't be quite enough to earn the $20,000. Here's the 20,000 you're trying to earn. So you need to have your money in there for more than 78 days, and that means you've got to round it up to 79 days. Okay, last question. Jerry's investment grew to $12,080 from $9,000 over 3 years. Find the interest. Well, all I've got to do here is take the amount that Jerry has in his account. If I take away the $9,000, that tells me that he earned $3,080 interest from his $9,000 investment. So he started with the $9,000, ended up with the $12,080. So the extra money he's earned is the interest. Okay. Now to work out the interest rate, we need to start with the simple interest formula again. The interest is $3,080. Principal is $9,000. Interest rate we don't know. That's what you're trying to figure out. Now the number of years is 3. Now what you're going to do is multiply 9,000 by 3. It's going to give you 3,080. It's equal to 27,000 times R. Now you're going to divide by 27,000 to get the R by itself. Okay, then cross out, cancel the 27,000. So now you're going to have R is equal to, now let's work out 3,080 divided by 27,000 equals. Okay, so that's 0.11407, and it keeps going. Now we want this as a percentage, so multiply that by 100, and that'll give you R equals 11.4, and then with a % sign. Okay, so that is it. The work that I want you to do for this is the worksheet that I emailed you today. Okay, you can do all the questions at CEGI, so just every second one. Okay. Now it's important that you get this finished because your assessment task is now a bit more than a week away, so you need to keep up with the work and get this work done.